all welcome to come up and take a little gander at the things that I just put up there. All right. No, I don't want the microphone, but I guess I'm going to have to use it. It puts me at a disadvantage. I'm French Canadian. I talk with my hands, and so only having one hand is going to be a little bit of a problem for me.
Good. How you doing? Good. Appreciate you being out here. It'd be nice if the sun would come on.
Okay, so the name of this is You Are What You Eat, a Holistic Approach. A little bit about me. My name's Michael Lacharite. I was born here in Brunswick. I live in Topsom. I'm a Navy veteran. Flew H-1 helicopters for the Navy. I'm 64 years old, recently married. I'm a retired brewmaster of the Maine craft brewing industry. I volunteer at the Mid-Coast Hunger Prevention Program here in Brunswick as a head chef, preparing plant-based whole foods for our community in need. I grew up in the 60s when convenience food became very popular, and later in life I adopted a healthier approach. However, I was misguided by believing that milk and butter and animal proteins in abundance were healthy for me. And I unfortunately skipped the part about eating a lot of fruits and vegetables. About a dozen years ago, I had some problems with my heart and was diagnosed with cardiovascular disease. While taking my mom to her doctor, Dr. Howe here in Brunswick, he asked how I was doing. I told him. Told him I was having problems with my heart. He said the only way to reverse heart disease is by becoming a vegan. Months later, the day after Christmas, almost 10 years ago, my wife Krista and I switched to a vegan lifestyle. Then, more focused on whole food, plant-based, which we still continue to this day. I essentially healed myself with a proper diet. I hope to be an example to others, and that's why I'm up here speaking to you today. More recently, I became a certified whole food, plant-based nutritionist. So, the fun part of what I'm going to do today is I brought my snackle box. Anybody know what a snackle box is?
Snacks in a tackle box.
And it's full of all kinds of yummy food. So that's what this is right here. We're gonna pass this around just in a little bit. So, you are what you eat. If you eat crap, you will look and feel like crap, and you'll suffer from illnesses. If you eat healthy food, you will look and feel healthier and live longer. It's that simple. And this is really key, it's never too late to make these changes. It doesn't matter how old you are, but don't wait until you become sick to change. Make those changes now, but it is never too late. Most deaths in the U.S. are preventable, and they are mostly related to what we eat. So we're going to take a holistic approach today. Holistic spelled with a W, which means we're going to use an approach that we consider the whole person and treating the person versus holistic with an H, where it's the various parts. Things like meditation and yoga. And I'm not saying those aren't important. That's part of being holistic too. But holistic is taking the whole body approach. And I really appreciate the last gentleman who spoke, who talked about some programs that are being created for veterans in crisis that are going to help them become more whole. There is a movement called the Blue Zones. You guys have probably heard of the Blue Zones. If not, start to educate yourself about the Blue Zones. They have books, TV series, social media accounts, and it's all focused on people and areas in the planet where people live to be 100 years old. And basically talks about how and what it is they do. The places that are blue zones: Sardinia is an island off Italy, Nicoya, Costa Rica, Loma Linda, California, Akira Island off Greece, Okinawa in Japan, and Singapore in the South Asian area. While these principles are necessary for holistic approach, today we will focus specifically on food. So today, from here on, is about the food. Holistic nutrition is a way to eat that deeply respects the relationship between our diet, our lifestyle, our health, and our environment. That's the holistic approach. Let food be thy medicine, and medicine be thy food. I hope you've all heard that before. That is from Hippocrates from 400 BC. He was known as the father of medicine. And that's a very key thing. Food is our medicine. The emphasis is on the importance of nutrition and curing disease. So here is 66 words that could save your life, or at the very least, improve your health. If you take nothing else from today, hear these 66 words. The ideal human diet looks like this. Consume plant-based foods in forms as close to the natural state as possible. Eat a variety of vegetables, fruits, raw nuts and seeds, beans and legumes, and whole grains. Avoid heavily processed foods and animal products. Stay away from added salt, oil, and sugar. Aim to get 80% of your calories from carbohydrates with an S, 10% from protein, and 10% of your calories from fat. Period. Done. I'm all set. I'm done. I'm going to go home and eat my whole foods. So these are the kind of things. Anybody can come up and look at these. Some of those are edible if you want some nuts to snack on, help yourself. So, I don't have a way to display this except with my left hand. So think about a graph. Think of this as a piece of paper. This is a graph right here. And this side right here is your health, right? So here's your health. And this part of the graph is your life, right? Here's 0, here's 100, 120 maybe. Way out here, right? So everybody understand the graph? Here's what we want to do. We want to start with health way up here when we're young. We want to keep that going. We want to keep the health going like that. We want to get way out here somewhere and then die. That's what we want to do, right? Americans are not healthy people in general. So what happens to most Americans is you might start up here, but then pretty soon, even into your teens and 20s, if you're not eating properly, you're not exercising, you're going to start to dip a little bit, you know, and then in your 30s and everything, you're overweight and you're eating McDonald's every day, and okay, so it's going down some more, and then you know, you get into your 50s and then it goes and takes a dip and then it comes back up a little bit. And then, but you're down here somewhere in the unhealthy. Remember, healthy's up here, unhealthy's here. You're down floating around here somewhere for 60 years old, and then you're feeling bad and you can't travel because you can't walk, or you're all sick, and then you slowly just die. All right? So I don't know, but I think I'd rather have the first scenario than the latter one. So many fad diets have misinformation. Even our government's USDA. Anybody ever heard of the SAD diet? Right? You know why they call it the SAD diet? Because it's pretty freaking sad, right? So there's a picture. You guys all remember the food pyramid and the government cheese and all that stuff, right? So this is their latest and greatest version. It's called My Plate, right? Yeah, everybody seen this thing? This is the most ridiculous thing that our government's telling us to do is eat those foods, right? No, it's crap. We gotta change the way we eat and who we're listening to, right? So we're going to learn today is what we should be eating to maintain a healthy body, as well as foods to avoid. All right, so this list is going to be hard for a lot of people to hear, right? So, but I'm doing it. Let's start with foods to avoid, and then as I'm going through some of the foods to avoid, I'll give you a few examples of some things you should substitute for those foods. Ready? All right, so these are lists of highly processed foods that we should avoid.
French fries.
Added sugar in the form of soda, diet soda, cookies, cakes, ice cream, candy, sugary cereals, energy drinks, and even flavored yogurt, right? So what we need to replace those with is plain old water, unsweetened fruit juice, healthy smoothies, hibiscus tea, coconut water, right? Okay, so those things don't contain added sugars, natural sugars from like the fruit, for example. Another food to avoid, added salt. All right, this is a big one. Chips, pretzels, breads, crackers, canned soup, processed snacks, right? So we're going to replace those with whole grain crackers, sourdough bread, Ezekiel bread. We're going to make homemade soup. We're going to have roasted chickpeas and air-popped popcorn. Those are great replacements for all that salty stuff. All right, refined carbohydrates, bleached white flour. These are things to avoid, remember. Bleached white flour, white bread, white rice, that's debatable, but, you know, French fries, crackers. Oh, the guy's over there is yelling at me. French fries, crackers, breakfast cereals, donuts, desserts, white sugar, pancake syrup. Ooh, muffins, okay? So what do we replace that with? Whole grain bread, brown or purple rice, a baked potato, whole grain cereal, homemade desserts, and real maple syrup. All right, here's a big one. Processed meats, cold cuts, hot dogs, sausages, everybody's favorite bacon, beef jerky, processed cheese. Those are things to avoid. They're highly processed. They have proven to cause cancer because of the ingredients that's in them. So what we do instead, we substitute it with tofu and tempeh, carrot dogs, soy curls, TVP, or cashew cheese. All right? Number 5, foods to avoid: fried foods, chips, French fries, fried clams, crab rangoon, right? Instead, we're going to have air-fried home fries in your little air fryer at home, zucchini fritters, pot stickers or dumplings or spring rolls. None of those things are fried. Number 6, things to avoid: fast food restaurants. That's really easy. And then restaurants in general, really. Try cooking at home. Try becoming a chef at home. Make your own cookbook with some healthy recipes. First of all, you're going to be eating more healthy, and you're going to be saving yourself some big coin, right? It's very expensive to eat out these days. All right, number 7 on the list, alcohol. So you can replace alcohol with non-alcoholic cocktails, non-alcoholic beer and wine, or even seltzer. So, did I piss anybody off yet? No? No. All right, good. Just the guy in the food truck over there. All right, so the most healthy diet, or I should say lifestyle, is without question a whole food, plant-based lifestyle. Let's break that down. I got another list. Here's a list of the whole foods to eat. Beans. We got some beans up here. Ready? Beans, the magical fruit. The more you eat, the more you toot. The more you toot, the better you feel. So, eat beans at every meal. My grandma used to sing me that. I didn't, thank God I didn't sing it. I just said it, right? All right, beans. They're also called legumes because it's a whole variety of things. And they include black beans, not everything, but here's a few. Black beans, chickpeas, kidney beans, lentils, green peas, tempeh, hummus, sprouted mung beans. Whole grains is the next one on the list. Oats, brown rice, quinoa, millet, barley, whole grain bread, and popcorn. Next one is vegetables. There are 2 types of vegetables. There's starchy and non-starchy. Okay, so an example of starchy would be a potato, and the example of non-starchy would be cauliflower, right? So in vegetables, you know them, right? Asparagus, beets, corn, mushrooms, sweet potato, seaweed, don't forget about seaweed, squash, zucchini, broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, turnip, kale, spinach, the list goes on. Fruits, blackberries, blueberries, strawberries, apples, bananas, dates, grapefruit, mangoes, oranges, peaches, kiwi, watermelon, it's all good. Oh, you know the great thing about watermelon? It's got so much water in it, you're hydrating yourself by eating watermelon. All right, number 5, nuts, seeds, and healthy fats. So raw nuts, raw almonds, cashews, walnuts, almond butter, flax, chia, avocados, and olive oil. And number 6 is spices and herbs. So basil and cilantro, nice fresh things. And then you got cumin, garlic, ginger, smoked paprika, mint, and my personal favorite, Aleppo pepper. So I think this would be a good time to pass out the snackle box. Could I have some assistance, please? Maybe if you just set it on the picnic table over there and let people forage.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to set the snackle box over here on the picnic table, and it would be really awesome if everybody came over and grabbed a little, there's napkins and toothpicks, and there's a whole bunch of cool stuff in there. It'd be awesome if you took one of every, or even 2 or more. There's plenty. Obviously, I planned for a couple hundred people. But anyway, so help yourself to everything over there. I would really encourage you to try one of everything in the box, please. Things you may never have had before. And Krista can tell you what they are. If anybody has a question about a particular type of food that's in the snackle box, Krista can tell you what it is.
Cucumber, daikon radish, that's just a cereal. Those are chickpeas, almonds, seaweed, tempeh, blackberries, dates, edamame, sprouted mung beans, cashews, and some mint.
Thank you.
Oops, sorry, ma'am. Here's a look at all the jars that y'all couldn't see.
All right, come on up, everybody. Try the Snackle Box. Free food. Free food over here. Free food. That'll get them over. Free food for everyone. All right, I'm going to talk while you guys are eating. The most healthy diet or lifestyle, without question, is a whole food, plant-based diet. Let's break that down. Minimize the intake of animal-based products and processed junk foods. No meat? Is that what you guys... No meat? WTF, right? Well, listen. Any movement toward more plants and fewer animals products can improve your health. This is the opportunity to discover new and healthy options for various foods. And so there are a couple of diets to talk about. There's a carnivore diet. High protein from animal products is omnivore. It's a diverse range of plants and animals. Vegetarians, they exclude meat and meat byproducts. Pescatarians will be a vegetarian that eats seafood. A vegan eats no animal products or no byproducts of animals. Something like honey or leather shoes is an example of that. And then there are a ton of other fad diets. Most all the diets that you see on TV or that have books and they're popular, I'm not going to name them, but there's so many fad diets, and so you really have to be careful about what you decide to do for your diet.
Not right now.
The advantages of choosing a plant-based lifestyle have to do with animal cruelty, compassion. You can reverse or prevent most diseases. We've got the environment, the environmental issues around animal agriculture. Did you know that it takes 1,500 gallons of water to make a single hamburger? How long are we going to be able to survive on the planet if everybody's eating hamburgers? Along with that goes deforestation and pollution. So I have some books up here. Nobody's going to be able to see them from where you guys are sitting, but I got some nice books here. I'm just going to tell you which books I really have and I recommend. One that I bought early on about 10 or 12 years ago that helped me get through my heart disease issues is a book called How Not to Die. Now, that sounds like that's tough, right? How Not to Die by Michael Dr. Greger. Discover the foods scientifically proven to prevent and reverse disease. And so the first half of the book talks all about the different diseases that we suffer from. And the second half of the book tells you all the foods you're supposed to eat or that you should eat to help prevent or reverse those diseases. And it's called the Daily Dozen. So the Daily Dozen is a list of foods to eat daily, and it includes a checklist, and I'm going to go over that in just a minute. How's that Snackle Box treating you guys? Very good. Yeah? Everything good? Oh, that's a Finn cracker. That is a rye cracker.
Thank you so much.
It's high fiber. High fiber. Dip it in the hummus. There's purple sweet potato hummus over there. Dip that in the hummus. It's really good.
She wants to know how to get it at the health food store. What's it called?
Oh, it's called Finn. Finn crackers. You can buy that at any health food store. Perfect. And in fact, Chris, I think it's even at Hannaford, right? I think the Finn cracker is also at Hannaford. So what you want to do is look for high fiber foods. Okay. Okay? And I'm going to tell you in a minute how to calculate your high fiber. Okay, the next book is the China Study by Dr. Colin Campbell. Is the most comprehensive, oh, I'm on the wrong page. The most comprehensive study of nutrition ever conducted. And that's this one right here. It's called the China Study. It's fascinating information. The next one is kind of new. This is about the blue zones. This is called The Secret for Living Longer. And the Blue Zone Kitchen, which is 100 recipes to live to be 100. And so this is the new Blue Zone, takes more into account not just diet, but lifestyle. And so, again, today we're focused just on food and not so much on lifestyle. But if you want to get into trying to live to be 100, check out the Blue Zones. All right, so let's see, where am I at? Okay. Help yourself to the snackle box, please. Did you get some snacks in the snackle box? Oh, you did? Is it good? What did you have? Whoa! Okay, so what is nutrition? What really is nutrition? You have what?
Paper towels.
Oh, paper towels?
Peanut butter toast.
Oh, peanut butter toast. Well, I didn't make that.
Only the parents know what the language.
So what is nutrition? How am I doing on time?
Good.
Let's talk a little bit about nutrition. What is nutrition, right? So nutrition are the macronutrients. That's the first thing. That's the biggest one. Macro meaning big, right? Macronutrients. Here goes. Water. Not a lot of nutrition in water, but it's an essential nutrient to our body. Calories as a whole is considered a macronutrient. But we get calories from carbohydrates. So carbohydrates in the form of good carbohydrates is something like a sweet potato or some brown rice. Vegetables are mostly carbohydrates. When we talk about bad carbohydrates, those are going to be the things that are full of sugar. You know, a muffin is very high in carbohydrates, but it's all coming from processed sugar. So you want to have your carbohydrates coming from natural foods. Proteins. Carbohydrates are our fuel, right? That's your fuel. That's what keeps you going. That's what keeps you moving. That's what keeps you energized. You got to have the carbohydrates. Proteins are more related to muscle building and maintenance of the muscles. And then the third carbohydrate, most important, of these ones, is fat. And fat is essential to our diet. And then the last one is fiber. So fiber is also a macronutrient. In a whole food plant-based diet, we like to aim for 70 to 80% carbohydrate of calories. So the number of calories per day, we shoot for 70 or 80% of that to come from carbohydrates. And 10 to 15% comes from protein, and 10 to 15% comes from fat. That's kind of what we shoot for. That's what I shoot for. I actually have a program that I can put this all into my computer and calculate all this stuff, and it spits out exactly the grams and percentages of all the things that I eat, including all the minerals and vitamins, and it tells me even the percentage of the vitamins that I got that I should be getting per day. It's a really cool program if you want to get into anything really crazy like that. Additionally, we want to aim for about 15 grams of fiber per day, and that's going to mostly come from your carbohydrates. This will ensure that you're having a whole food diet when you have 50 grams of fiber. So micronutrients are also really important. Those are things like minerals, vitamins, fatty acids, and amino acids. I'm throwing about fancy words here, but those are the micronutrients, and those are also important. We can't ignore that. So I'm kind of wrapping it up here. Let's see. We got, oh, so here's what I tell people. Eat the rainbow, right? Go to the grocery store through the vegetable aisle and look at all the things that got a lot of color in them. The more color, the more nutrition is in it. So for example, next time you go to grab a green cabbage, I eat cabbage every day. Instead of grabbing a green cabbage, try a purple cabbage. They taste better. There's more nutrition in a purple cabbage. Same with onions. Onions, a typical white onion or yellow onion. You know, buy a purple. Try a purple onion. Purple onion. There's more phenols, polyphenols in these. There's more nutrition. So go ahead. Don't be afraid to eat things with a lot of color when you go to the grocery store, especially in the fruits and vegetable aisles, which is where you need to shop mostly. All right, most common question. What do you think that is? That I get? What's the most common question I
How
get?
often do you poop?
How much do I poop? Oh, I have really good poops. Oh yeah, real healthy poops. And you know, that's a good question. Poop is important. It's really. I don't get too gross about it, but the how often you go, what it looks like, the texture and such. You know, those are really important things to look at for your health. No matter what you're eating, if you're having good poops, then that's a really good thing. And part of what helps you get good poops is something I haven't mentioned yet. It's actually the next couple things down. Fermented foods. Fermented foods. Sauerkraut, kimchi, anything fermented, really super great for you. Highly recommend that you eat fermented foods every day. So, most often asked question to me as a whole food plant-based guy is, where do I get my protein? That's the most common question. We've been misled by our government with the trash that's on the floor here, the My Plate thing, about the amount of protein the human body needs. And we don't need as much as our government's telling us. We really need about 10% of our calories, 10 or 15%. Now, it's different if you're an athlete, you probably want a little more than that, but just for your everyday Joe, you know, 10, 15% of your calories should come from protein. And basically eating a whole food plant-based diet, so many things have protein in them, right? If you look at this stuff up here, almost everything has a protein in it. You know, some things higher than others. The lentils and the beans and have, you know, a lot of protein. But things like the cashews and almonds and the pumpkin seeds, they have protein in it. Things like the barley and the millet has protein. And even the way down here, the nutritional yeast, lots of protein in nutritional yeast. So we get our protein from all these plant sources, and it's really great. So I'm going to close with two things. One, this is the Daily Dozen. So in my world, I eat these 12 foods, and this is from the How Not to Die book. So if you want to learn about how not to die, this is your daily checklist, and it's in the form of a checklist, right? So at the top are beans. And there's 3 boxes next to beans. And you can put this on your phone. You get an app on your phone called the Daily Dozen, and you can do this right on your phone. It's super simple and fun, right? So there's beans, 3 servings of beans per day. There's 3 boxes, right? Berries, you want to have a serving of berries every day. You want to have 3 servings of fruit every day. You want to have 1 serving of cruciferous vegetables every day. Cruciferous vegetables, cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli, 1 serving a day. Greens, you want to have at least 2 servings of greens a day. Greens, I don't even need to tell you what greens are, right? Spinach and Swiss chard, and then you want 2 servings of other vegetables that are not cruciferous, so like a carrot or celery or whatever your favorite. And then you want to have a serving of flaxseed, You want to have 1 serving of nuts per day, most preferable raw nuts. You want to have 1 serving of spices per day. We put some mint in the snackle box, and that's fresh from our garden. And eating just 1 leaf of fresh mint a day is a wonderful thing for you to do. But spices include nutritional yeast, turmeric, garlic, ginger. Those are all great spices. And then whole grain. You want to have 3 servings of whole grain a day. That could come from a bread, whole grain bread. That could come from rice or barley. And 5 beverages, and that most likely is mostly water. You want to have a lot of water a day. And then the last one box is exercise. We want to throw that in so we're holistic, right? All right, is that snackle box empty yet? Okay, come on. Get over here and eat this snackle box. I don't want to take it home. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up with what I eat in a day. Oh, and we're going to do some questions. Has anybody got a question? Any questions besides how I poop? All right, here's what I eat in a day. Or what, you know, this is kind of what we eat in a day. I'm the cook at home, and my wife, Krista, gets to eat all this food that I make for her.
Really cool.
She's very lucky.
Yeah.
Oatmeal with fruit. Well, that's what we had this morning for breakfast, actually. Ploys, which is a buckwheat pancake from northern Maine. It's really delicious. Ploys with some maple syrup on it. Beans on toast. Avocado toast. Overnight oatmeal. That's where you put oatmeal in a jar. Overnight oatmeal. Veggie tofu scramble with tempeh bacon. Zucchini fritters. Healthy smoothie. Gallo pinto, which is one of the blue zone foods from Costa Rica, which is basically rice and beans with some squash. Congee. You know, 47 billion Chinese people can't be wrong by eating congee every morning. It's basically rice soup, and you put all kinds of lovely vegetables in it. It's lovely. Easy to make at home, too. Hash brown quiche. That's one of our favorites. We use an egg replacement made from mung beans, and we put potatoes down in the bottom and press it into a pie plate to make a crust, and then we pour all the vegetables and stuff in there. It's really lovely. Breakfast Sammys, that's really easy to do. And then muesli. Krista makes the muesli. It's really good. Ground up pear and apple and toasted oatmeal. It's really good. All right, so lunch. Oh, let me say something about meals. We don't eat really traditional every day. We don't have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and they're specific. Like, you know, cereal for breakfast or oatmeal for breakfast. I can eat oatmeal at any meal. All right, but I'll eat something really odd for breakfast instead of a traditional breakfast. I'll eat something crazy like ramen soup, you know. Okay, so for lunch ideas, though, we got chickpea salad in a pita pocket. We have bass. Anybody ever eat a bass?
No, thanks.
Big ass salad. And we'll make our own dressing. So carrot ginger dressing. We love ramen soup, but we don't do it like the little 25-cent packages of crap with a little thing that you dump in there. We can make it from scratch. We love this time of year cucumber sandwiches or tomato sandwiches, spring rolls, carrot dogs. You take a carrot and you whittle it down to look like a hot dog, and then you marinate it in some good stuff, and you throw it on the grill and you throw a bunch of stuff on it. You don't even know it's a carrot, you know. Banh mi sandwich, that's a Vietnamese sandwich with a lot of vegetables in it. We had this for dinner last night, raw pad thai. So it's all the pad thai stuff, but we do zoodles. Take a zucchini and we turn it into noodles. Veggie tacos, leek and potato soup. All right, on to dinner. baked beans and coleslaw, black bean burgers, vegan mac and cheese and peas. Cold cannon is Irish dish with potatoes and cabbage in it. Chow mein, everybody's heard of that. Asian stir fry, that's a really easy thing to make, all vegetables, right? And then a favorite of ours is shepherd's baked potato, right? So it's shepherd's pie, but it's actually inside of a baked potato.
That sounds so good.
Veggie lasagna, Buddha bowls, succotash, that's actually a Native American dish. Pea soup and minestrone soup, that's a Blue Zone food right there. That's how people who live to be 100, they ate minestrone soup every single day. Beverages, I like golden milk, hibiscus tea, and a thing called switchel, which is ginger juice, apple cider vinegar, and a little bit of honey. All right, so I am at the end of my little thing. I don't know if I went over time or not. I appreciate you guys listening to me yak up here. I hope I'm inspiration. If there's anything you heard, if you want to talk to me, I'm going to hang around a bit. If you want to talk to me, ask me questions. I'm more than happy to talk. Does anybody have any questions about anything I said today? All right. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Michael. We'll give you a second to get your stuff going here too. I did just want to share with the Michael Grieger book, your book on top.